You know, one question I get asked quite a bit that I'm sure most people who run a gun channel do get asked is, are shotguns good home defense weapons? People are always asking that. Should I use a handgun? Should I use a long gun? Should I use a shotgun? You know, shotguns are like the best all-around gun out there, right? So they should be great for home defense. Well, I'm going to go against the grain here and say, no, I don't think shotguns are good for home defense. Now, I am going to say that there is a difference between home defense and property defense, and we'll get into that in a moment here. But first, as far as a shotgun goes for home defense, if you live in an apartment, if you live in a townhouse, if you live in a small home on, an eighth of an acre lot in the city, shotguns just don't seem like a good idea to me. Because most defense you do of your property is going to be from inside. Because if you go outside, well, it's public space. There's not a lot of private space out there. So you're probably going to be defending yourself from inside your home. Inside, shotguns have a lot of liabilities. They are heavier. They're harder to maneuver. If you get into a scuffle with someone, they're definitely going to be worse than a handgun. Also, if you have to use it, it may not any more effectively stop a threat, but it is probably more likely to cause collateral damage, especially if you have to go outside and it's a tightly packed area. And that means there's a lot of people, a lot of businesses, a lot of homes around you. That's a lot of potential collateral damage in the background. Shotgun is more likely to cause collateral damage than a handgun. So when it comes to home defense, I just don't think there's enough positives to a shotgun to warrant using one. Now, like I said, however, I think people get home defense and property defense confused. Property defense comes in when you live on a home out in the country. And maybe you've got outbuildings, you've got property, your nearest neighbor's 300 yards away, and you've only got a couple of those. Well, then that's when you might want to start looking at a shotgun. Because if you have outbuildings, etc., you might have to actually venture out of your house in a burglary situation or an invasion situation. So you might need a little something more powerful because you're going to be outside and you're going to be facing various threats. And since you do live in an area where your neighbor's house isn't 4 feet from you, you don't have to worry as much about collateral damage or being in a tight space and not being able to maneuver the firearm. In a situation like that, you might want a shotgun. Also, if you have livestock and you live in an area where there's bears, you might want to go outside with a shotgun because you never know. That what you think is someone trying to break into your garage might be a bear trying to eat your goat. So you might have to react to something like a bear. And if that happens, you're going to want a shotgun. So it depends on your situation. If you have property, if you have livestock, if you have outbuildings, if you don't live in a tightly populated area, a shotgun does make more sense. But if you live, like I said, in an apartment, in a home, in the city, in a place where there's neighbors right on top of you, where there's a lot of people around, shotguns just don't make as much sense, especially, like I said, if you're going to be defending yourself inside where the liabilities of the shotgun outweigh the advantages. So I'm going to say that usually, no, a shotgun would never be my first choice for home defense, but when it comes to property defense, that's a different matter. In that case, I would definitely want a shotgun.